Hello everyone, welcome back to another speed build. Today we are jumping like right into the middle of things. We are in Mount Komorebi, and we are building a vacation rental, but we're kind of starting with like the interior decorating, because I actually started building this way back when Snowy Escape first came out. So like January 2021, I think we're talking about. But there was a problem. It ended up in my work in progress like folder for a long time. And then when I finally like finished it recently and went back to like finally edit it all, I discovered that there was a problem with the footage in the first half where it seemed like it recorded it at like 12 FPS. Not really sure. So it's not watchable. It can't do anything with it. But I love this build so much that I just decided to use the second half of footage, which was fine, which is what you're looking at. Because I wanted to share it with you. So please stick around for the tour at the end. This is a short one because it's really only half the speed build, so you can see the outside and especially this like sunken in Zen garden, which is one of my favorite things about the house. You'll see that everything is kind of built around it. So right now I'm kind of working on putting in the stairways that will go upstairs, and I'm working on the beginnings of the genkin, is I think how you say it, but it's basically the Japanese mudroom. So I tried to bring in some very like traditional aspects of Japanese architecture to this build. So we have the genkin, which would be the space where you take your shoes off, and because we are in Mount Komorebi, that's supposed to be a little bit more of a cold climate. I also put in like an area for your coats and your shoes. You'll see that here in a minute, once I get the platform tool to cooperate with me. I add in some cabinetry to like where they would store shoes and things like that, just so that we had this little space in the beginning. The layout in this build was like a little tricky. I cut out a lot of footage of me fighting with it. But you can see here, this is the space where the cabinets will go in a second here. But it's a very small house. It's very cozy. It is 2 bedrooms. It sleeps 3 Sims. So there's a full bedroom downstairs and a single bedroom upstairs, and it is 2 baths, 2 full baths. So it's meant to, but I wanted it to be very urban. It was based on like a rental home in a city. So you will see that there are, I wanted it to be small, like it would be tucked in a city and not, but it meant that I spent a lot of time, you will see, kind of like fighting to make it. Has a kind of a strange layout too, because it's got this like lofted upper space, but then everything is built around the Zen garden. So it took a little bit to get the layout to something that your Sims can walk in, but it is all functional and lightly play tested. I tried everything out and it didn't seem like anything your Sims couldn't path to anything. I don't remember if I tried out the laundry space, but I think besides that, but that's not really like essential anyway. But here we're kind of finishing off the genkin area. I'm putting in the cabinets I was talking about. I decided to switch the flooring out for more of like a tile, just because I thought it might be kind of nice to have something separating it. We put in the little like sign that will make sure your Sims do take their shoes off. And because I built this before we got like the nice shoe clutter from Dream Home Decorator, I just kind of like sunk down that shoe rack. I think it's a base game shoe rack, to make it seem like there were some pairs of shoes sitting there, which but now you can use the Dream Home Decorator shoe clutter if you want. And then I was able to squeeze in like this tiny little laundry nook, which I liked. I think it might have been a little bit more traditional to have it in the kitchen, which is how it is here in Brazil. We have our laundry area in the kitchen, but I like that detail. And then we had some more traditional things like these shoji screens, to kind of separate the dining area from the living area, and to bring in more of that like traditional Japanese architecture. I used this cute little vintage TV that I thought just worked so well on that shelf, and I love how it like works with the kotatsu that you can, which the kotatsu is that little like low to the ground table that it has like a blanket and a heater, and I think it is the coziest thing, and it looks so cute. Like you'll see in the tour like my Sims family like sitting down and using it, and I so want one. I wish, like, I live in a tropical climate, it doesn't make any sense to have like a heated quilted blanket table, but it seems so dang cozy. And I love that. Like, I just love how it works out here. You'll see that in a little bit I add the hot pot to it, so your Sims can sit there and have their hot pot meals and watch the TV. And there's a couple of like other stools I add into this room, so it makes it just a really cozy space for like living space for your Sims. There's the hot pot, and I just really like, and everything downstairs, so the bedroom downstairs, the full bed, this living area, the kitchen area, that it all encircles that like zen garden type garden, traditional Japanese garden, I guess is what we should say. And so everything has this like gorgeous outdoor view, and it is just like feels like it would be such a like cozy, relaxing place to spend your vacation. So you can see a little bit of the traditional garden we have there. That is just, you have views from like all over the house. You can see it from upstairs. It's just it's my favorite part of the house, really. And then I add in a very simple, very small kitchen. It was meant to not be like a full kitchen, so you'll notice there's no stove. You have the hot pot to cook meals on, so your Sims don't have to go out to a restaurant or something. But I thought with the idea of this being clearly like a rental home for vacations, that it didn't make sense to have a full kitchen in there. There is this full formal dining area, but I also like the idea that might double as like a meeting area if your Sims were coming here on business. I know that you can't really like travel on business in The Sims 4, but this idea that you could have a space for like a work meeting, or if you want, it only sleeps 3 Sims, so it's a surprisingly large table. But I guess if you use this as a home, I think it won't work very well as a full home for your Sims. And then I add some details out here just to make it look a little bit more urban. I add like the gutters and some more of the wood detailing. I like this little garden area outside. It's maybe doesn't make the most sense on a rental home, but I love the idea of just having like this little tiny tucked in urban garden. I've seen it. I have friends who live in Japan and they have a little tiny garden like this. And so I was very much inspired by their garden of just this tiny little space to grow some things. I don't know how it would work in the rental home if like the owner of the house comes and takes care of the garden. And then I just did some more work on the roofing to try and even out the roofing panels and have fewer seams showing. And I'm actually pretty happy with how the roofing came out in the end. I do wish we had that roof trim that they had in like the preview of Snowy Escape, but for some reason we never got it. And then I have this air conditioner here that's supposed to be, we have this kind of split air conditioner in Brazil where the condenser like sits outside like that, and you'll see it a lot on Japanese homes, so I wanted to have that as well. And now we're moving on to the kind of master bedroom downstairs, where I tried to use the traditional tatami mats. And to make this look right, you'll see me using the quarter tiles. I believe it's F4 you can press to get quarter tiles, which will let you kind of fit the tatami mats in the way that they would have them in a traditional Japanese home, because they're like this very set size that you rotate to in these certain patterns. I think it's like there's very specific orientations that you're supposed to put down the tatami, and I think I like had a reference I pulled up to try and make sure it was right. But you'll also see the bathroom is it's traditional to have the toilet separate from the bathing area in a Japanese home, so I continued that, where you have the 2 separate doors and one goes into the bathroom, which looks out, like you'll see in the tour at the end of the video, the bathroom looks out into like the Zen garden. And then here with the bed, I used some shelves and sized them up to kind of create a custom headboard for the bed. And I tried to be really restrained with my use of clutter. There's still a lot of plants in this build, probably more than needed to be, but to try and keep everything really clean and simple and minimal, because you'll notice in most, like especially a rental space, I think in Japan it's going to be very clean with a lot of white space, very much that minimal style of minimalist style of decoration. So I use like this wardrobe that has very low decoration. These paintings that come from cats and dogs, the ones that come in like a set of 4, have like such a nice, they work really well, I think, in Mount Komorebi and with the Japanese style of building. And then I kind of got the better of myself and kept adding clutter because I just couldn't restrain myself and I wanted to use the tea set, and I add some other clutter. I think I might take it a step too far because I go so far as to like add the books and the magazines, but it also means your Sims have a bookshelf, because I don't think there is a bookshelf anywhere else in the build. So it adds some things for your Sims to do in the house, because the house is very clean and minimal and simple, with the idea that your Sims are here to vacation. They're going to go do other things. They're going to be doing the snowboarding and the skiing, and this is more a place just for them to stay. And now we are at the upstairs bedroom, the single bed upstairs, which I kind of had in mind of being like a kid's room. Originally I built this for like my legacy family that had 2 parents and a kid, so that would be like the ideal size. So if you have a small Sims family, this is like a perfect rental home for them. And I use tulle and some shelves and a like size down desk to build in like a custom desk up here. So this desk kind of fits in with the bed and the window to make it feel like it was all just one piece and kind of built in to the room. And then I added some plants and some decorations just to make it look like and it just turns into this cozy little space where you have this desk and you have the plants, and you'll see there's like a fishbowl. But this room ended up being one of my favorite spots in the house, because I just could imagine here like sitting at this desk in this very calm, peaceful like view, looking over, there's like a river in the world in Mount Komorebi over there. So you have this window that looks over the river, and you have this space you can sit and you can do your work or just write or whatever. And it ends up being one of my favorite parts of the house. Yes, the house. And it's just one of my favorite parts. I did go a little overboard with the plants, probably. It's probably a lot of plants for a rental home, but I really do like this bedroom in the house. It just ends up feeling so peaceful and cozy. And we're gonna jump in a second over to the loft, but just while I'm finishing up this bedroom, I just want to remind you guys, I am now like finally streaming regularly on Twitch. I stream The Sims every Monday, and it's mlplaystheims Games. So which is hard to spell, so there's a link down in the description. But if you want to watch me build things in The Sims live, you can jump over there. And also, if you are enjoying these and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. YouTube does its own things with subscribers, and if you like this, please leave a like and a comment and let me know what you want to see in future builds. If you think your Sims will enjoy this, or I'm hoping to do more builds in Mount Komorebi. I really, after I was going back to this, realized how much I like this world, and I just didn't get to spend as much time in it when it came out. So I think I would like to continue adding some more things. But up here we are adding a loft space, and this I really liked as like in the original building it was inspired on, it's like a living space, but I ended up going with this like co-working kind of space because it fit a little bit better with the pathing. It was just hard to fit a couch and a coffee table in this small of a space. And now we are actually almost to the very end of the build. This is a very short one because it's only about half of it. With another bathroom up here, just with the separate toilet again, and a bathing area for like a common kind of guest bath, and for the bathroom up here. And I do just want to thank you again for joining my channel. Please stick around for the tour so you can see all the outside and like the Zen garden. It's definitely some of my favorite parts of the build. But if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Hopefully it will not be such a very long break like it's been in the past, and I do hope some of you will join me over on Twitch. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy getting to like hang out and hang out with other simmers and talk about builds and things. So please join me over there, and I will see you in the next video. Enjoy the screenshots.